right? When you really get to know someone. I mean, we were talking for hours.
She is.
You were talking to him for hours, but anyway.
I'm just saying goodbye.
The way that we want to do this is like conversational, very organic. So throughout the conversation, if you have a question, please bring it forward. And that's going to really enhance the discussion and the experience that we want to have with you guys today.
Yes.
So if you guys didn't know already on the flyer, I'm the Quynhforthewin girl over there. And the special guest is my lovely life partner here.
Happy.
He goes by Happy.
Bless brother.
Yeah. But to introduce myself a little bit, just to relate with you guys, I mean, how would I say it?
What is the topic?
Oh yeah, conquest of self. We're going to discuss that and what that means to us. Actually, when I think about conquest of self, what does that mean to you guys? For me, immediately, I think about the connection that I have with myself.
How tough is that?
Yeah, that's really tough.
Super challenging.
I think about self-love too. I'm a self-love coach, so I'm big on that. Because when we conquest, I see it like a journey. Like, what are you conquesting for? And for me, it was to be my own best friend. To describe the events that's happened in my life, just quick highlights from childhood, middlehood, and now. It's growing up with siblings and parents, and I just remember looking back being bullied, experiencing being bullied, because I was the youngest out of these two other girls that were my friends. We were the same age, but because I was the youngest, I was interacting with them because we were the same age, and then I was like treated like a peasant. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, where just because someone's older than you, just by a couple months, they feel like they can bully you. And unfortunately, I saw how that created this ripple effect of becoming like a bully. So I became a bully to people that I really care about, and unfortunately it was my siblings. I'm the oldest. Is anyone else the oldest here? There's a lot of pressure.
So you get pressure.
There's a lot of pressure, you know, and from playing the role of looking after my siblings, I suddenly became like the bad guy. And I didn't know that I was doing that. Looking back, I realized I was dumping all of my pains onto them. And then fast forward, what is it that we always look for?
Validation.
Validation and love. We look for validation. So I sought that through, high school, and ultimately trying to find the one. Can you guys relate to that? Like, Disney movies totally got me. I mean, right? Like, watching the Disney movies, seeing my parents together, you just have this vision. Oh, this is my life, so I'm just missing my partner. Where is he? Long story short, experienced my first abusive relationship that was emotionally, mentally, and physically abusive. That was for 5 years, and I even got married to him. So who got married at the age of 19? Yeah, that was, yeah.
Great decision. Great decision.
I know, I'm so proud. I learned a lot, and we all have our shames. We all have things. When we look back, I'm like, dang, what was I thinking? We didn't know any better. And then I got into another 4-year relationship, and that really did it for me when I experienced the continuing of the abuse, and I felt so insecure and kind of like helpless because my emotions just like took over. Like, there's things that we know that we should do, kind of like what Michael was saying earlier. There's things that we know that we should do, but then your emotions sometimes, like most of the time, just gets in the way. So since then, I've been on the conquest of self, and here I am today speaking with you guys about it.
There goes conquering yourself, right?
Yeah, and then I meet this person here, and he's going to share a little bit of him, and it will really, really start the conversation. But for the first time, I was on my self-love journey, and then when I met you, it just radiated. Like positivity. I was like, what is this? What is this? I have to get to know this person. But really, I was on a conquest of surrounding myself with just good people. Like, I don't care if you're my partner or not or whatnot. I just wanted good people in my life because I was just tired of getting effed over. And I know that I was a good person. I always sought to understand, but we get taken advantage of. We get stomped on. People take our good vibes and they don't appreciate it. And I feel like a lot of us have felt that, like self-worth is a big one. But since that, you will meet people that will enhance your life even more. And that's how you know maybe that's an indicator that you're going on the right path, because what are the people and the events that are actually enhancing my life, not taking away my life. So that all goes into the conquest of self, as this topic is today.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's a little bit of me.
So
Thank you for listening.
That's I'm going to save you guys the story or whatnot. I'm actually going to start with a question with conquering yourself. Just think about that. That's super damn challenging. You know, I like to suggest conquering yourself is even more tougher than making money. Right? You can get a job and you can make money. But that's the thing. Where do you start? You see, people create vision boards all the time, right? To project where they want to be in their lives, the people that they love. My question is, what does conquering yourself look like? Do people even create a vision board to conquer yourself? What would that even look like? Right? Like us, you, sir. What does that even look like? To conquer yourself. It's okay.
Like, it's okay. I don't know. I gotta think about it.
It's all good.
Know as I go.
Right?
Yeah.
See, for that, what does conquering yourself even look like? Or is there even an example out there of conquering yourself?
I don't know. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is figuring out where your strengths and weaknesses.
That's a good one.
I like to suggest conquering yourself is damn near next to impossible. It's more of managing yourself, right? Even the best athletes in the world don't even conquer themselves. They're just able to manage their workloads from day to day. Even the coaches that are out there, they're not trying to conquer the players that they manage. They're just trying to manage those players. For example, I like to suggest a person who's conquered or managing themselves very, very well. What do they look like, or what would they wear every single moment of the day if they could just be whoever they are? To be yourself, what would you just wear every single day? If you didn't need to go to work, if you didn't need to go to any formal functions, if you didn't need to go to an appointment that you needed to dress up for, if you didn't need to go to a speaking engagement where you needed to impress people, what would you wear? Right? Because we're all so, would you say, worried about how we project or how do we look. Are people going to take us seriously by what we wear and whatnot? I like to suggest, for myself, I'll just use myself as an example. I woke up in this, and I'm still wearing this. I had this on yesterday.
Every day.
Every single place that I go, I wear workout clothes every single place. I went to a wedding last year. A wedding. And it's supposed to be formal.
I mean, you
right?
did okay, but
It was one of her best friends. She was the maid of honor. And I was late, like I normally am, because I'm very rarely on time. But I had mentioned to her many times to mention to her best friend that the only way that I would attend is if I could just be myself. Just be me. And being me is this. So I showed up just like this.
well, a t-shirt, yeah, a t-shirt.
I had a t-shirt, not a tank top. But I had a t-shirt. They had the event. They had the event at the, what is that hotel?
It was a very Kimpton.
Right, the Kimpton. Right there where the king stay on the top floor and whatnot. They had a super fancy wedding. Everybody was super dressed up. And I come in just like this. Just like this. Is it disrespectful? No. I like to suggest otherwise. I've given them the appropriate, message that, hey, the only reason I'm going to attend is for her and the bride, and if the bride is okay, then I'm going to show up as me. I don't want to be anyone else. And if that's not okay with the people who are there, then so be it. I will not be there. See, that is an example. Oh, I even had the people who were running the event come and ask me, hey, are you crashing? Think about it. Think about how you would feel if you went to an event and hadn't been dressed up. So many people would be worried about how other people would view you. And I like to use that simple example of being able to conquer who you are without worrying too much or letting the worry overpower your decision making. Right? So, question is, where do you start? Where would you start? I like to suggest, think of marriage, right? Before two people get married, they make vows, right, with each other. They make promises with each other that they are going to do something till death do us part. But I like to ask every single one of you, what is that one vow that you have for yourself? What is that promise that you have for yourself that you will not bend or compromise for anything, for anyone? That right there is you. You need to protect it. And not many, or many that I've met, that really know. And it's the reason why we make so many different decisions on different values and different circumstances. But if you're vowed to yourself, that promise that you make to yourself, because a lot of people don't even know. We're all just winging it. We're all just going. But if you know what that is for you, you will be able to make simpler decisions, cut out a lot of the drama and noise that is out there, because you are making a decision based on your vow, your promise to yourself. Just like if you were in a marriage. Supposedly, you guys are both making the best decisions for both of you to make a better life, or a great life, or even better, your life. Right? So maybe we shouldn't compare it to everybody else's. That's what makes us stressed out. Right? So for example, I'm going to throw it back to the quick win for the win-win-win. Her journey started when she had her second breakup. Right? When you're way down in the dumps and you have no place, no idea. Like Michael was saying earlier, you have a huge, terrible breakup. And you're thinking, where do I go? Who's going to help me? Right? Yeah. Who can I go to who cares? And I like to suggest to you, very few of us have this and protect it from everything else. Because all this right here is designed to take you away from here. Everything around you is designed to take you away from that. And that's where I would suggest where a person would start. Because for her, she didn't even realize that's where she started until I mentioned it to her. And then Sherry, what was your vow? What was your promise to yourself?
I said, I need to be my own damn best friend because, damn it, I was so tired. I was so tired. I was everyone's best friend. I was like the partner, the loyal girlfriend, that person.
And it's
I said,
exhausting.
I needed to be my own best friend. So that I didn't realize it, but when I made that commitment, and actually I saw a video on TED Talk if you want to look for it. It's marrying yourself on TED Talk, and I was just inspired. Wow, what if it's like putting a ring on yourself literally, and because we know what it's like to dedicate and be committed to somebody else, or be committed to a career. We already know what that feels like. So I was just I knew that I needed to do something different. So it was that, and being my own best friend. She has built upon that since then. Yeah, like what you said about meditation, where you were noticing the thoughts, and I'm like, I call it my inner homegirl. I was like, okay, Quinn, really? Like, what are you saying? Like, come on. So those little things started happening, and then it was creating a safe space. Like, I am not going to go where I'm not celebrated, where I'm not seen and appreciated. I'm just not. And I was like, man, if I'm going to manifest, if I'm going to attract people that are like that, I need to be that. Like, what would my life be if I did that for myself? So it was like this curiosity and hitting rock bottom and knowing that that's what it is.
And what would you say is, because it's going to segue into a system. We're not going to cover a lot, but it's just 3 things where you can actually apply it, right? She didn't even realize that after she made that vow, after she made that promise, she started doing things in her life that became habits. That eventually, like computer programmers, right? They see a problem, they code, they create the code, and then they run the program, right? If the program doesn't run through, then it doesn't work, right? For her, she was putting in meditation. She was putting in better people to be around. She was taking away negative influences in her life so it wouldn't create noise, so she could actually speak to herself even more. You know, that spirit, that inner voice.
Yeah.
See? And that's the second part. You know, after figuring out what your vow is, what your promise is to yourself, what is the system that you are running? See, for example, I'll give you a simple one. We all wake up, you know, Monday through Friday. The majority of us have jobs, even 7 days a week. And that would suck. But unfortunately, there's a few of us out there that have those type of jobs. You wake up, you get ready, you go through traffic, you're with people at work that you may not like or you do really like. You have lunch, you have that lunch, and then you're looking forward to leaving to go home. And then when you get home, you may be around people that don't appreciate you. That sucks. That's sad. But that's where we're at, right? And then you go throughout the whole evening trying to figure out, well, am I going to watch TV? Am I going to better myself physically? Am I going to create something that is going to build me? And then you go to sleep. See, the question is, in all of that, we become better at work. We can get to work without even thinking. It's not even a thought. We can autopilot, put on all our clothes, and just go. Right? I like to suggest, why can't we figure that system out for ourselves? For ourselves. That's the big disconnect. Right? And so, my question for that, how would you make yourself proud? Every single day. The simplest thing. What would it be? It doesn't have to be big to make yourself feel proud of just you. You know, I like to say this. So many people that I've come into contact with, we're always, because we are good people, because we're teachers, because we're motivational speakers, we want to give to others because that's our good nature. I like to say that spirit, that's your talent. Unfortunately, not many people give it back. And that's where we need to do it for ourselves. We need to. Because how can you build something when you're empty? How can you build your life? How can you see your vision? How can you find that loved one? Instead of finding them, maybe grow. And they'll find you. You know what I'm saying? So, that is it. And just like Quinn, you know, our story started because she wasn't even looking. See, I've been my whole life. I would like to see people spend 40 hours a week on average to make money. I invest and spend 40 hours by myself every single week. Every single week. Just by myself. And a majority of that is done by cycling, working out. People, they will attest. Anybody who works out consistently every single day will tell you, you figure out whatever is going on in your head. It releases all that tension. It releases that anger, that anxiety when they work out. It helps create, and see, this is the yoga world. We're all super stressed out. Everything inside of us is like chaos. When we get upset, we're super angry. And how do we calm ourselves down? Yogis will say, create space. Right? Create the space. You know, just and most people are like, how the hell do I do that? How do you create the space?
Is it a switch? What is it?
Exactly.
I would like to create space.
Exactly. And they'll tell you, you need to create a practice. What's a practice? And that's the program. What are you putting together for yourself every single day to run it daily? To be able to make yourself proud of you. Right? So two simple steps on how you can start your journey on how to see. He said